I can see you, so I understand what you're doing. I like your fridge. It's lovely.
Yeah, I'm here in Denver.
You are? Hi. Well,
Hi.
thanks for joining. Heather, where are you? Sorry, we deal with this every day too. I don't know what the heck's going on.
I'm in New York.
You're in New York?
Yes.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Lindsay, I know where you are.
I know where you are too.
Well, I've got a monitor here, so there's no escaping him. Carter, welcome. Erica, welcome. Chris, welcome. We're waiting on a few.
Good afternoon. I'm from Maryland.
Maryland, welcome, welcome. Thank you. When you get a sec, I know we sent it out. I don't know if everybody got it, but if you're making acorn squash, which we're going to do as a crispy topping at the end, turn your oven on to like 375, 400. Not crazy hot, but hot enough to where during the course of 45 minutes, we want this to get nice and crispy, and then we'll chop it up and all that in a minute. But turn oven on, and you'll need a metal baking pan of some sort. Okay, I'm using a saute pan because I don't really have a big baking pan because, you know, apparently I didn't know this was going to happen tonight. So I'm using I have this really thin, super awesome saute pan that is amazing if you're in a restaurant, but as soon as you start cooking, everything burns and smokes in it. But, you know, if you're into that sort of thing, it's great. All right, we're going to wait for a couple more people and then we'll get started. But all the normal things, diced onions, chopped up carrots, anything you would like for your chili. If you're using beans, canned beans, I've got red kidney beans and I rinsed them off. You want to get that goo off there. But we're going to wait a couple minutes before we get started. I really appreciate all of you joining. Who just joined at the end? Is that Chris Howard? Carter, welcome, sir. Can't hear you. Reed's keeping an eye on you here from a distance.
We are back.
There you are.
I'm with Shelly.
Hi. Sheba, welcome. Thanks for joining us. I had bedhead. I flew in from Dallas. I had to wake up at 2 a.m. Denver time because I had a 6 a.m. flight from Dallas. Chris Howard, welcome, sir. Where are you? Are you here in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Denver.
Nice. Thanks for joining us, bud. Were you with us last time?
No.
Not yet. Well, thank you, sir. You look like you got a really lovely kitchen all set up there. You do this on a regular basis.
I've been doing a lot of cooking classes since the pandemic.
Yeah? So what do you cook for a living or is it just something you do for fun?
No, it's just something I do for fun.
Nice. Well, thanks for joining us.
No
What part of Denver are you?
I'm by DU.
Oh, nice. So you're getting a little bit of smoke, not too much smoke.
Yeah, I'm keeping the windows closed.
Yeah. Reed, how many forest fires we got right now? 12, you said?
24.
24 forest fires. Come on. How is that possible?
That's just in Colorado.
Good Lord. 24 forest fires in Colorado. So our whole thing today was normally, you know, we do these and people pay for classes and workshops and all that. But we wanted everyone to just hit one of the links. You can pick whoever you want, contribute a little bit of money to whatever cause you want to. It just, the links go directly to them. So we've got www.mixnmatch.com, our website, /chili. So you should have had that link. If not, go to my Instagram thing. It's right up top. But if you go to our website and it shows today's class, there are links there to contribute to firefighting causes and efforts all around Colorado. So I'm going to wait, make sure everybody's got a drink because really, you know, yeah, it's chilly, but it's also, you know, what time is it? 5:30 on a Sunday. I'm having kombucha because I'm not like you guys and getting drunk on a Sunday night. But you're welcome to have whatever.
We're getting drunk.
Well, okay, well, there is vodka in my kombucha, but it's mostly kombucha. Yes, finally, there you go. It's beautiful. Reed, shall we start? All right. So we're going to do a chili, and you know, it was something that we started thinking about early, a couple months ago. We were like, man, there's so many great harvesty things in Colorado. You go to all the farmers markets. Let's do something a little bit different And originally we were like, we should do like a world chili where we have everything that has something to do with Colorado, from Chinese to Indian to Korean to African to South American, all of it, make a chili. But people thought we sounded a little unhinged and we should keep with it. So whatever meat or protein you want, I grabbed a few things just so I could show you what all I could find. These are all Colorado things that we got today. We have Colorado bison, surprisingly not that expensive anymore. So if you really want, at the grocery store, you can get it. It's like $7-8 a pound. Elk, unless you have a crazy uncle who gives you like a ton of elk every year, which you probably do. Elk is surprisingly also available at grocery, at the farmers markets, Colorado product. We have your regular ground beef. And for those of you who are keeping vegan or vegetarian, our entire dish, other than the meat today, is vegan. So if you go with one of these things, your dish is all vegan. This is Impossible Burger stuff, which is like super chopped up, looks like meat. The only thing with if you're using one of these meat substitute things is they cook a lot faster and will burn. So wait until a little bit later in the process, or don't cook it as long when you do work with it. All right. For us today, I'm going to do bison because we talked about bison, and then I'll have elk and beef and Impossible for the rest of the week. So I've got our big heavy pot going on here. But first thing I'm going to do is, if you're doing acorn squash, so what we're going to do with this, we're going to roast it off, then we're going to chop it up at the end. And so you don't have to chop it up yet if you're doing acorn squash. We're going to roast it. If you did chop it, it's okay. We're going to roast it off, and then at the very end, after it comes out of the oven, it's nice and crispy. We'll chop it up and sprinkle it over the top of the chili. Acorn squash is crazy cheap. It's one of those things I didn't really start eating until a couple of years ago, because why would you, right? Like, it's everywhere, and I just didn't really think it was all that great or special. It does have kind of a waxy coating on it. So rinse it in some hot water, rinse it off. Hi, Chrissy, welcome. Can she see us? Oh, Chrissy Smith is connecting to us. All right, give her a second and I'll keep blabbing on. Chrissy, you got to pull the camera away from your hand. So a lot of these have a little bit of a wax coating. Either it's something that they put on for transport or anyway, rinse it off in some hot water and leave it exactly like it is. Don't peel the skin, don't do anything, all right? I'm gonna rinse it real quick. If you're gonna do the acorn squash, make sure your oven's going. And here's the way to do it. Make sure you got a heavy, sharp knife, right? Really light knives tend to slip on it, but a heavy knife, and keep your fingers out of the way so that you leave with as many fingers as you showed up with. I don't know what I do with my knife. So we're gonna do, and pumpkin squash, depending on what time of year you get it, how long it's been sitting at the store, sometimes the shell gets really hard and the knife will slip and you'll take off your knuckles. So that's it. If you want to keep the seeds, great. If not, just scoop it out. Since we only have an hour together today, I'm just gonna scoop out the seeds. Scoopy, scoopy. Hi, Chrissy, can you hear me? Welcome.
Thank you, I hear you.
Oh, hi, welcome.
Thanks.
And then again, everybody, really appreciate you joining today. We were planning on 800 people today. Well, how many do we have? 20? All right. So we have 20 on here, and then we have a bunch of people following on the YouTube channel and our Instagram thing as well. So we're gonna limit it to only 20 people that can actually do the cooking with me. Okay, so if you're doing the acorn squash, you cut it in half, okay? Cut it in half, and then scoop out the seeds. And now just cut it into like 1/4 inch thick. This will all make sense at the end of it, okay? Whatever shape you want, it doesn't matter. It's all gonna leave the skin on. Don't worry about the skin. So about 1/4 inch or so, 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch. Not too thick, not too thin. If it's too thin, it'll burn. If it's too thick, it just won't cook. So we're gonna do that. And the skin is a little tough. Make sure you got a good sharp knife and keep your fingers out of the way. So I was in Dallas cooking yesterday and the day before. The very first thing I did when I got there was chop off one of my fingertips. Oh, this one right here. And then the nail kept getting stuck in everything as I was trying to be the cool guy who knows how to cook. Okay, so I've got a really thin steel pan. I'm just putting this in there. This is gonna go into the oven. If you don't already have it, turn your oven on to like 375, 400, whatever your oven can handle, okay? I'm gonna do one whole acorn squash. You can do as many as you want. Sometimes, you know, when I'm home all by my lonesome, I will roast off acorn squash and eat it also by my lonesome because it's delicious. So anyway, here's our acorn squash. Carter, you guys look like you're hustling over there. It's a lot more activity than needed, sir. What's happening? Okay.
She's working me hard, Biju.
Oh my God. All right. So if you have kids, if you have assistants, if you have a significant other in the room, have them start peeling cabbages or carrots or something, or you know, boil some water, do something, anything. Get out of the kitchen. All right. So we've got, cheers, sir. I see somebody drinking. Welcome. Kombucha and vodka. Anybody? Hi, Chrissy. All right. So we've got acorn squash. If you don't do this with squash, this is one of the coolest things ever. You know, I'm sure everybody's grandmothers and great grandmothers were doing this without really thinking about it 100 years ago. All right, acorn squash. I'm gonna put some olive oil on there. The skin is still on, leave it on there. You're gonna eat it later. It's fantastic. And then I leave it really simple, salt and pepper, okay? And I always use coarse kosher salt. And the reason for coarse kosher salt is when you're doing cooking stuff like this that is not super specific to like ounces and grams and teaspoon, because of the size of the salt, it's almost impossible to over salt. Whereas if you use table salt, you very quickly over salt because there's more salt per spoon, scoop, whatever, right? So I use kosher salt. One, you get the right balance, and two, you get a little crunch and a little texture. So salt and pepper is all I'm doing. Olive oil, salt, pepper, butternut squash, and it's going into the oven. And then we're gonna forget about this while we do everything else, okay? Salt, pepper, cut up butternut squash, olive oil in a really thin pan. Give it a nice stir so it's coated everywhere. I'm gonna spread it out. And we'll check it in a few minutes because depending on your own oven and your situation, Maryland, you're closer to the sea than we are. We're at like, what, 10,000 feet above sea level? What are we? Oh, Mile High City, 5,000 feet. I was off by a mile. So sea level, it's probably gonna cook a little faster. So we'll check it in a few minutes. Butternut squash, we just want it to get crispy and then nice and tender, all right? I'm gonna put that in the oven and then we'll come back and start browning stuff. Yay. Okay. So whatever it is you're using, if you're using the veg, Beyond Meat or Impossible Meat, don't start yet. Hold up on that, okay? I'm gonna use ground bison, lovely Colorado Proud ground bison. I've got a pot going, it's heavy. We have these lovely Lodge cast iron pots that they rust really fast. So if you're into the habit of like cooking stuff and leaving it in the fridge overnight, don't get Lodge, okay? Because in the morning, you're gonna have a pot of rusted potatoes. So here's what we're gonna do. I'm opening this thing. I've got my pot going and I'm gonna brown that first. I'm gonna show you a couple of really cool things that maybe you just didn't think about or you didn't know was okay. And it's okay. We're gonna brown that. While that's happening, dice up any and all vegetables you like in your chili. I've got carrots, I've got celery, I've got onions. And while the meat's browning, I'm gonna show you one of my favorite things. Hey, Henry. My dog Henry's here. Hi, buddy. Okay. While the meat's browning, I know this time of year for sure, we can see a lot of the hatch green chilies, you know, and the Anaheim chilies that we see at all the markets. They roasted in that big barrel thing, which if you don't have it, you can just take these guys, get one of those pans that have the holes in it so you can put it on the grill. Or my buddy Russ, shoot, I forgot to let him know we were doing this tonight. My buddy Russ, who I grew up with in high school, he was doing this where he would show me how to do this. So you have, imagine this is your stove at home with fire. All right, I've got fire now. Chilies, and you just put them right on there. You probably don't want your kids doing this by themselves, but you know, I don't know your kids. Maybe they're super skilled. Put put these on here. The house is gonna smell like you're burning weed or something, but you're not. So you get a little blister on there, you get really delicious flavor. So if you wanna do Anaheim chilies, you can. If you don't, that's okay. This is just a bonus because they're everywhere in Colorado right now. Oh man, that smells really good already. It's just bison burning or browning. Okay, so chilies. Otherwise, chop up all the vegetables you want to use, whatever bite size you personally like. Whatever it is, carrots. I've got carrots. I've got celery. We got most of this.
Biju,
Yes.
what do we do on an electric stove?
Well, with the chilies, don't worry about it. Don't burn them. We're just gonna go ahead and dice these guys up. We'll add them right into the beef. You don't have to do this part.
Okay, thanks.
Just skip this part, of course. Reed went out yesterday and saw our friend Nicole at the Pearl Street Farmers Market. Hi, Chrissy. If you're in Denver, you go to the Pearl Street Farmers Market, which is amazing. It's over by University of Denver on the south end. It's this cool thing where they take over like the whole neighborhood. They close the streets. It's super fantastic. And we got some of our meats, our produce, got these awesome carrots, all of that over there. And also our friend Nicole, who runs Pearl Street Food or Pearl Street Farmers Market, puts on Steamboat Food and Wine Festival, which is mind blowing, which is super cool. I'll be up there cooking in 2 weeks. All right. So if you don't have open flames, if you just have electrical, don't worry about this. This is just for, I have electric also. I just happen to have this in my car because who doesn't have a stove in their car for emergencies? You know, I do always travel with the stove. Right, you got to be safe. Thank you, Reed. Did you get that from your dad? Is that a Carter technique? Okay, I'm pulling these off. So when you grill these guys, if you cook them a lot, it'll blister and burn, and then you can pull the skin off if you want. I personally like the skin on there just because it smells super good and it burns really nice. So I just want to show you that. I'm going to take that off, and I'm going to start chopping things like I was supposed to have done an hour ago. Okay, so the meat is browning. Whatever meat you're using, we've got bison going. Perhaps you have elk. What's deer meat? Venison. Maybe you have venison or deer meat, as we like to call it. I love onions a lot. I have this, and in the recipe, I said 2 different types of onions. So if you take half and mince it really small, it'll pretty much melt in with the meat. So you don't, if you don't have it already done, you do what you got. Either way, the idea was some of it's really small and some of it's not really small, okay? Because the really small stuff will kind of melt into it, and the stuff that's bigger will just be big chunks of burnt onions, which are delicious at the end. All right.
Question.
Yes.
So the very small minced, we go ahead and put it in the meat now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and add it right now. Okay. I'm doing mine as you're adding yours. I'm a step behind you. So you just add away. We want it to cook in there really nice and get really soft and almost dissolve into the meat. So the first thing we're adding is the minced onion. We've got the beef going or the meat going. We're gonna add the minced onions. I'm doing half. So I split it. I got a whole onion. Half it's gonna be super small and half is gonna be a little bit bigger. Okay. Yeah, in terms of chop size, yeah. And again, that's entirely up to you. Like as small as you can make it for half of it, and then half of it a little bit bigger, just because then you'll get visible chunks, right? So I'm adding my first half. Now, just keep that going, browning. Turn it up as high as you can. Only onions so far, okay? And while that's browning, cut up whatever else you got that you want to use. So I'm gonna use the green chilies. I'm not gonna take the seeds out because I like the seeds and also because I'm kind of lazy. So I'm gonna leave all the seeds in, just chop it up. I want these to be big bites when I get it later. So I'm gonna leave these about a half inch or so sized, diced, which will be fantastical. So I'm gonna leave those. Okay, you guys, don't forget, all right, before you sign off, go check our links at the mixnmatch.com/chili, wherever you logged in today, and check out all the firefighters and the forest fire causes going on around Colorado. support anybody you can, please. There's a ton of it going on. It's nuts. Yeah. I just drove from here to Dallas, which I highly recommend doing it like 10 o'clock at night. You don't notice the smoke. But apparently all of Oklahoma's on fire. Is Oklahoma? There's like a big chunk of the country's on fire right now. It's nuts. And it happens every year, right? Which is crazy. All right, so browning the meat. I've added nothing to the meat yet. Just meat and onions.
I got garbanzo beans. Is that okay?
Are
Or
you
should I
are you doing meat also, or?
Yes.
Okay. Have you already added the garbanzos?
No.
Okay.
But that's what I mean. I have red kidney as well. I just didn't know.
Just wait till the end. I've got my red kidneys. We don't want to add them too soon because then they'll get all mushy. We'll add them at the very end after everything's done. Go ahead
Which
and
is
drain
better,
them.
though.
Whichever you like. They're going to be the same. I'm using
Okay.
red kidneys, but just drain them and rinse them off. Get the thick, the juice out of there. And yeah, just drain them and rinse them and just hold them until the very end.
Awesome. Thanks.
I'm doing red kidneys. The color-wise, it'll look a little nicer because the garbanzos will still look white and the red will kind of blend in with everything. Okay, this is browning. I'm gonna give it a stir. My onions on my end are getting a little bit soft. And now is where it's gonna get interesting. Is everybody ready? Chrissy, are you ready? The little man's ready? Hi. Wait, are these two different people? I have multiple cameras going. Hi. I don't know, I can't see anyone's name, so. Okay, so if you have, I've got these guys, the Anaheim chilies I diced up. If you have those, great. If you don't, also great. Oh yeah, I need to dice some tomatoes. That's like a significant portion of a chili. I just remember like when we moved to the States, I went to elementary school. Excuse me. I went to elementary school at this Lutheran school in Highlands, over in the west side of Denver. And they made this, it was like Frito pie chili. I still to this day, when I think of chili, that's what I think of. It was like this weird meat, sugary, salty concoction. I'm guessing we've all had it. That is chili to me. So this is this much better than that. So, all right, meat's browning. Everybody's good. I see a lot of running back and forth. I can't see anybody's name, so I apologize. Feel free to shout at me. Oh, Lindsay's cooking. Elise, what's going on? Did you leave the room? You got to come back. There you are. Okay. All right. Meat, onions. That's all we've done so far, okay? So on the menus, or on the recipe rather, I'd said apricots. A couple things on apricots. Colorado being tons of, so chop these up. Chop up like half of the apricots you have, maybe like just a handful, maybe like 6, 7, because what it's going to do is going to give us this really interesting little sweetness that it's hard to like explain until you have it later. Just chop up a small handful, whatever shape you like, but a small dice would be lovely. But I cut it into strips and then cut it again.
Lindsay was looking very skeptical.
Lindsay's like over there drinking. She doesn't look like she's cooking at all. Something tells me Lindsay's not cooking.
I am cooking. I'm drinking kombucha just like you.
Ah, but did you add vodka just like me?
No, but maybe I should.
No, you got to do that separate. It doesn't come with vodka. All right. So the apricots, we have so much amazing stone fruit all over Colorado. You get dried plums and pears and apricots and everything. But also, if you've had South African curry, which is a huge deal, like in South Africa, curry is their #1 food, like Indian curry, except they add dried apricots to everything, which is incredible. It's amazing. Like when you get a bite of it, it's ridiculously delicious. Okay, so far, meat's browning. We've literally done nothing in, how long have we been doing this, 20 minutes? We've done nothing in 20 minutes. We got meat browning, we've got some onions in there. You guys ready? Now we're gonna do everything really fast. Okay, a little salt. Just take whatever salt you got, a sprinkle of salt into the meat, okay? Maybe like half a teaspoon, not too much. Okay, now I'm gonna add the apricots I just diced up. If you don't have apricots, you can use raisins, you can use currants, you can skip it. It's gonna be great no matter what. All right, I'm adding the apricots. The reason we add it now, it's gonna dissolve and kind of melt into the dish, okay? Now, I'm gonna add, I've got the diced green chilies. I've got the big chunks of onions. I'm gonna add those in. Okay, everybody with me? Add whatever you got. I've got to dice up some carrots. We got these awesome carrots at the farmer's markets, but they're like super skinny because they're like, they grew up in somebody's backyard, which is what you get when you go to a farmer's market. You're basically getting like backyard cheese, but it's delicious. All right, so we have these super skinny carrots. I'm gonna just dice them up. If you have carrots, great. If you like carrots or don't like them, whatever. This is your chili. And we haven't added any spices yet, okay? Just salt and pepper so far. I'm gonna just chop these up and throw it in here. If you're doing a veg protein, we'll add that in the next step. So far, we just got onions, peppers, spice. In a second, I'm gonna add carrots. Got it. Okay. Lindsay, are you cooking? Yep, looks like you're cooking.
Look.
Biju, we can't cut as fast as you.
That's okay, I can't either. It's only TV.
And hi, Lindsay.
Hi.
This is the magic of TV. Like, I don't really cut this fast in real life. Huh? All right, carrots. The carrots will wait, sir. Chrissy, are you making this too?
I am, but I didn't get your ingredients because I signed up 5 minutes before the start.
Oh, that's okay. Whatever you have, whatever you're making, it'll be great.
Do you have garlic in this recipe or no?
I didn't add it, but you can, because some of I'm using a Mexican taco spice blend that has a bunch of garlic in it. Some of them don't. A lot of them do. You do what you want. Okay. All right.
Sounds good.
I'm gonna chop up some celery and chop it in here too because I do like celery. So whatever vegetables you like. And this is it. We're gonna do the vegetables, and it's gonna get really interesting here in a second. Okay. So we had tomato paste on the recipe. If you have it, go ahead and open the can, get it ready to go. We're about to go nuts with the tomato paste in a second.
Biju, do your fingernails add to the flavor?
What was that? Sorry, the fingers?
Do your fingernails add to the flavor?
Absolutely. You know, as a professional chef, my fingernails have been in many dishes for the last 25 odd years. So yes, no complaints yet, sir. People pay extra for that usually. I got to turn the fan on. Sorry if it's noisy. Okay. I'm going to add a little celery. Next up, we're going to add tomato paste. If you guys want to get really super nuts, and if you happen to have cocoa powder, like chocolate, not sweet cocoa powder, you could add it. You could like go super nuts and like really customize it at this point, but I don't have that. So I've got some celery in there. Celery's in. I'm gonna give it a stir, and now we're gonna do some really cool things, right? So I've got tomato paste. I've got soy sauce, and I've got a little bit of brown sugar. And what it does, all of it together, like really gives this lovely umami kind of round, sweet, acid on the back of the palate flavor that's really amazing. So if you don't remember anything else from today, next time you make chili, add a little soy sauce, add a little brown sugar, okay? That's all you have to remember. And don't tell people you did that. You're like, oh, I don't know, it just showed up like this. Is it good? Okay. All right, so my stuff is all going here. We have not added spices yet, okay? Don't be in a hurry to add spices. I'm gonna check the butter or the acorn squash. Hold on. Why is that?
Someone said celery has no flavor, so why add it?
Celery has plenty of flavor, sir. Also, it adds a little bit of crunch. All right, here's what my acorn squash looks like. This handle is crazy hot. Can you see it? Where's the camera? So mine is like starting to burn, which is what you want. So depending on your oven, maybe just kind of toss it a little bit because we want it to get crispy like that guy, but then in another 20 minutes, it'll get super soft and crispy. It's magic, all right? I'm gonna put that back in and we're gonna, again, forget about it. It just, yo, yes, sir.
How come there's two of us working and we can't keep up with you?
I'll slow down. I'm gonna have a drink.
Just kidding, actually.
Okay, so all we have acorn squash in the oven. We've got some meat browning with onions, carrots, garlic. Chris, you're way ahead of us already, sir. All right, fine. Okay, now you got tomato paste ready. You've got soy sauce ready. Next step, start thinking of whatever spices you want, okay? I've got...
Very quick question, Biju. How much soy sauce?
Well, I've got more than we need in here. You need about a tablespoon max, like just a splash.
Okay.
And some of it's super salty, so maybe taste a touch of it first before you add it, so you know if it's crazy salty or not. Your acorn squash looks lovely there. But yeah, taste the soy sauce in case it's too salty. Yes, what was the question? No?
Did we put it in there?
Not yet, not yet. We're doing that next. Yeah. The first thing we're gonna add is tomato paste. And this is one of those very old Italian grandma cooking recipe techniques where you fry tomato paste. I think I picked it up in some movie. It may have been like Goodfellas. There's like a whole scene where they slice garlic with a razor blade, and then they roast tomatoes, tomato paste. They roast it. It's incredible. It's still stuck in my head. Okay. All right. Meat's going. All that stuff's happening. We're going to do tomato paste first, okay? And it's muy importante that you use tomato paste. It's super concentrated and usually, you know, so we're going to add that in there. Ready? Add that into the meat. Make sure to have a wooden spoon or something. And stir it in there really good. Scrape it around. Mix it in there super duper good. And you want to basically fry it a little bit. It's a very old school Italian technique of getting this little bit of burn and caramelization on the tomatoes. You can't really do that with any sort of other tomato because there's too much water. You get tomato paste and you fry it a little bit. And if your meat blend in the pot is really dry, add a splash of olive oil, canola oil, something right now. Because if we're using bison, which is really lean, or, you know, it's gonna be dry. So if you're using a ground veg protein like what was our thing? Impossible, you can add it now. If you already added, that's fine too, but you can add it now because now we're gonna finish it up really fast, okay? So we've got the meat, the vegetables, no spices yet. If you added it, that's okay, but no spices yet. Because the reason is, once you add the spices, it all burns, makes it hard for the meat to get the right color, the tomato. So we wanna save the spice till almost the end, so all the meat's cooked and the vegetables have the texture, you know. Okay. Everything's in there. Now, ooh, it's nice and smoky. All right. Tomato paste is burning, which is what you want. I'm gonna add my chili powder. Everybody ready? Whatever spice blend you have, you can use, this is a taco mix. If you have Chinese 5-spice, you can use that. If you just have cumin or chili powder, use whatever you have, okay? Here's something else. Most all spice blends, curries, 5-spice, Mexican blends, they're the same basic ingredients. Cumin, fennel, coriander, cinnamon, black pepper. It's just different parts of the world just have different ratios of it. So use whatever you have. It's gonna be fine. Okay, I'm using Mexican, a taco seasoning blend. I'm gonna put a little bit, I'm gonna do about 1 tablespoon for what I'm doing. We can always adjust it a little bit later. Scrape that in really good. The pan is still pretty dry. We don't want it super saucy yet. Okay, pan is dry. Scrapey, scrapey. Everybody with me? Somebody's just standing still over there. Is that your mom, Reed? She's somebody. Chrissy, what's going on?
I'm supervising.
Oh, good, good. Shelly supervising, making sure everybody's on track. Chris, what are you cooking over there? Are you cooking beef or bison? What do you got?
I got some bison.
Nice. It's a little bit dry. I assure you, I promise you guys, this will be super good at the end of it, okay?
That's good.
All right. Okay, so now I'm gonna add soy sauce. Add as much as you want. Taste it. You can add more later, but if it's super salty, just add a little bit to start, okay? Because depending on the brands, depending on what you're getting, some of it's crazy salty, some of it is not. I've just got a regular store-bought Kikkoman low sodium. I'm adding about a tablespoon. And then once we taste it later, I'll, do the thing with the thing. Okay, that's going. That's that. Now, if you have fresh tomatoes, chop it up, throw it in there. If you don't have fresh and you want to use canned tomatoes, whatever it is, do about a cup of tomatoes and just dice it up or whatever you got, add it to the mix, okay? And then on the list, on the recipes, I put brown sugar. I'm gonna put a little bit of brown sugar in it next, and mix it all together, add water, put a lid on it, forget about it, and we're gonna have a nice conversation. I'm gonna talk about what you did last night, okay? Okay, tomatoes are in. I'm gonna add a little bit of brown sugar. Everybody good? Again, similar to the soy sauce, add a little bit of brown sugar to start. I'm gonna put maybe like a half a tablespoon. Mix it in there, super good. Okay, that's all of our core ingredients, okay? Don't add the beans yet. Now I'm gonna add just enough water to get to the top of the meat. Everybody with me?
Question.
Yes.
We still have half an onion we haven't added, is that right?
You can chop it up really coarse and throw it in there now. So half of it is really small. And if you don't use it all, that's okay too. Just depending on the size of your onion. The goal was some of it was really small, some of it was kind of big. So go ahead and add that and roast it or saute it in really quick before you add the water.
Same thing with the cilantro?
We're gonna wait on the cilantro and all that. Cilantro, anything that's really delicate. So cilantro, parsley, chives, although we want to wait till almost the end because it just kind of falls apart.
And then chipotle peppers?
Yeah, well, we're going in order of what takes, cooking time-wise. What's going to take the most time to cook and break down. And so at the end of it, we have a nice even texture. Cilantro can wait. Onions, sure. So we've got a nice little watery chili going. I know some of you like really chunky, thick chilies. Look at what you have now. We're going to let it cook for like 10, 15 minutes.
Can you hold that up?
Oh, yeah. So here's what it looks like. It's kind of not too thick, not too watery. And adjust it however you want. It'll take maybe 10 minutes and it'll come together. If you're making, if you're doing this at home, sometimes, in a slow cooker, you cook it overnight, whatever. But as soon as it comes to temperature, it's cooked. But taste it, depending on the meat, you're like, oh, I want it to cook for another hour. Everything's done. You can let it cook. So we're gonna let it cook for about 10 minutes, just all come together. And while that's cooking, I've got Fresno peppers, I've got jalapenos. I really like my food crazy spicy, and I make these guys eat it. Last week, when what did we do? The roasted chicken thing? We were sitting here, all three of us, our faces were sweating. We couldn't talk. It was so freaking hot. Like, it was too hot for me, and I eat a lot of hot food. So if you want hotter things, just chop it up. Oh, can you bring people's names back up? I don't know where it went. Elise, what are you drinking over there? It looks like you're drinking tea. There we go. All right, well, cheers.
Yeah, it's just English breakfast TV. Yeah, cheers.
Well, thank you, thank you. Elise, are you in Colorado?
Yeah, I'm in Lakewood, Denver.
Nice. Sheba, are you still on here?
Yeah.
Nice, well, thanks for hanging with us. What are you got some tea, some coffee, something going on? Whatever it is, thanks for hanging out with us.
I'm here.
Heather just abandoned the kitchen altogether, just ran away.
She was here.
I'm here. Drinking a red stripe.
Oh, Red Stripe.
Ask Sheba.
Oh my God, Red Stripe used to have some of the best TV ads. Huh? Sheba's doing great. Sheba, I heard Sheba said Sheba's having the Red Stripe, right?
Yes.
There we go. Brilliant. Sheba, where are you? Are you from Maryland? Somebody said they were in Maryland.
I'm in Maryland, but I'm from New York.
Oh, welcome. Well, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks. I'm not I'm taking notes because
Since
I'm
we
gonna.
can't, since none of it, are we allowed to go to Jamaica? I mean, the closest we can get is like drinking Red Stripe at home, right? It's like one of the best trips I've ever been on. All right, so chili's cooking. At this point, okay, there's certain flavors that a lot of us, so I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma recently, where they have a local like favorite chili coney dog place, little hot dogs with chili. And the flavor that you get from that chili dog, because you don't think about like Tulsa, Oklahoma, the flavor you get is all cinnamon. It's like amazingly cinnamon, and you smell it and taste it a mile away, and it's like such a wonderful warm fall flavor. So if there's any sort of flavors you like, cumin, chili powder, cinnamon, chipotle peppers, whatever it is, add it now. And also, what I'm gonna do, because mine has been boiling away for like 5-6 minutes. The meat's all the way cooked through. This is a good time to just taste a little bit of the sauce part. See if you like where the salt, peppers, sugar part's going. Okay, so when you taste something, make sure you get enough liquid so you can hit the back of the palate, all right? And then you wanna smell it first before you taste it. Take it, big smell, it smells good, doesn't smell burnt. Mine tastes pretty good. It's a little peppery.
It's really hot, Biju, the chipotle peppers canned.
It's perfect. You should put all that in there.
Cart's kind of a weenie about it.
It's great.
Spicy, though.
How else are we going to find out how much you can handle? I say you put it all in there.
He said, add it all.
Okay,
Hey,
here, those chipotles are, by the way, the canned chipotle peppers are amazing. If you put like toasted bagel with cream cheese, cilantro, and canned chipotles are so good on there. I mean, your face is sweating, but it's amazing. All right. I'm adding a little more brown sugar to mine just because I'm a little sweeter. This reminds me, chili for me is always junior or elementary school. It has no other, there's nothing fancy about chili for me. So there's that. Everything's in there. Now, I'm gonna add the beans. So if you have cooked beans or canned beans of any sort, why is that child not wearing a shirt? Huh?
My shirtless wonder.
All right, so if you're gonna do any sort of beans, this is the time. Make sure when you get canned beans, you get really good quality beans, you have to rinse them first, okay? Because they have that goo in it, the canned goo. Get rid of that. It's wonderful once you do that. Right, and so now the chili is basically cooked all the way through. I'm gonna turn the heat down, add the beans, and now whatever vegetables you have, cilantro, scallions, anything you want really present at the end of it when you're eating, start chopping it up and just adding it to it, okay? I'm gonna add some cilantro now, because basically the cooking is done. And then over the next couple of days, every time you reheat this, it'll be even more better and everything will get softened up a little bit. But this first bite, I'm adding a bunch of cilantro. Cilantro. Is this visible in the shot? Can people?
Yeah.
Can the folks back home see that, Reed?
If you bring it to this camera, you won't.
Okay. I'm gonna add some scallions because, you know, scallions. There's been a time in the past where I added Mexican beer, tequila, all that to it, but I'm not sure that it really made a difference. And how good was like, what are the square cracker things? Not Ritz or Cheez-Its, but the
Saltines.
saltines.
Club crackers?
Club crackers are the sweet ones. They're kind of round, right?
No,
But
they're the rectangle ones.
the rectangle. Oh yeah, they're the long rectangle ones. But saltines, and when else do you want saltines? Like people give you saltines when you're sick. Like you eat a saltine. You're dying anyway. Eat a saltine.
Shelly's
Like-
going to the store to get some scallions real quick.
Okay, we'll wait.
No, I'm kidding.
Does she run into this grocery? Like seriously, the only 2 times ever in life you want saltines is when you're making chili or when you're like dying, right? You're at home. It's right up there next to morphine. As soon as somebody gives you saltines at the hospital, just go ahead and know that it's over. Because they're never going to give you saltines when you're about to have a birthday party. Sorry if anybody's having saltines at the hospital right now. I apologize. Okay, I'm adding scallions. Basically, I'm going to clean up the table and not all the leftover things. There is a little sour cream sauce we can make. Save up any green shrubs, bits and pieces you've got. We'll put it in a bowl, mix it in with some sour cream and sprinkle it on top. Okay, can you guys see this? There's I haven't stirred it because I was busy chatting. Here's my kidney beans, scallion, cilantro, all that's in there. I'm gonna give it a mix. I'm gonna open the oven, check on our thing again. Oh, on our, what is it? Acorn squash. I think I used up everything I wanted to use. Am I missing anything? There's a lot of stuff on the counter. All right, I'm gonna check the acorn squash first. Give me a second. So everybody open your oven, check your acorn squash. Lindsay, check your acorn squash.
Okay, check.
All right. My dog's in front of the oven, which is great. Oh man. Did you see the dog? All right, so here's my acorn squash. Nice and crispy. See how it's getting like brown and crunchy on one side? This is actually super good. That's what we want. So it's basically done. So if yours looks anything like mine, just give it a stir. You're gonna put it back in the oven and turn the oven off. So now we don't have to worry about overcooking it while we do the other things, okay? Just give it a scrape, scrapey scrape, crunchy brown parts, crunchy soft brown parts, crunchy brown parts. Right. All right, I'm gonna put it back in the oven now and turn the oven off. All right, chili's basically done. It's cooking. We're just gonna put a lid on it, let it simmer. Acorn squash is going. Now I'm gonna make a little sour cream sauce just to put over the top. So you can use sour cream, you can use yogurt. The thing about sauces really bring whatever dish you have together, right, at the end. And I think folks at home who haven't spent 35 years in restaurants probably get a little stressed about it, but just take whatever you have, put it in a blender, you have a sauce. Okay, you can use yogurt or sour cream. I'm gonna use sour cream because, you know, it comes in this fantastic squeezy thing, and I just love doing this part. So I have a little NutriBullet, but if you don't have a blender, just put it in a bowl. Either way, it's fine. I'm just gonna put it in here because time. And then I've got sour cream. Anything green you have, some leftover cilantro is going in there. What else do I have? Oh, we should use one of these guys. These are like crazy hot. These are Fresno peppers, which I absolutely love. They're very pretty looking, but they're incredibly angry little peppers, okay? So don't confuse pretty for not angry. Found that out the hard way in my first marriage. Hey, anybody? No? All right. All right, I'm gonna put some chopped peppers in here. You don't have to. Never mind. All right, I've got some cilantro. Some sour.
A cooking show.
What's that? It's not a cooking show. Last thing anybody needs is a cooking show. Listen, there's plenty of cooking shows. What are we doing?
Group therapy.
Group therapy, that's what we're doing. Feel free to jump in anytime with, you know, whatever it is you guys need help with. I have opinions. Okay, a bunch of things in a blender with yogurt or sour cream, okay? Whatever you have left on the countertop, put it in the blender. Don't worry about it. Your kids don't know, they're gonna love it. Whatever you make, here's the thing, 20 years from now, your kids will be like, oh my gosh, my mom used to make the best chili. It's my life chili. And they're gonna come to you for the recipe. You're gonna be like, yeah, it was just table scraps in a pot. And they're not gonna get that. So, all right, so I got a bunch of stuff in this. I put some onions, cilantro, some peppers, sour cream, a sprinkle of salt. I'm gonna blend that. That's just gonna be top our what do you call it, chili. Okay guys, I'm almost done. Is everybody else almost done? Anyone done? Just me? Balls. Hold on.
Hey, what do you suggest for non-dairy?
You can skip it and not do it. I mean, do you have any, I don't know what you have. What do you normally do for like sour cream and stuff when you do non-dairy?
Well, someone was asking, so I thought I would just.
Use whatever it is you normally use. How's that? I don't know. You know, they make like dairy substitute sour cream and yogurts. So you could do that, but also you can just skip it entirely. All right. So I put in a little blender thing. Also, these NutriBullets are fantastic. I've traveled all over the world with one of these. I used to travel with rice cookers also, except security guys would take them apart everywhere. And then I would just get to some foreign country with a half of a rice cooker, which I don't know if you've tried using half a rice cooker. It doesn't work. Okay, so chili's done. Acorn squash is done. Is everybody ready to eat? I haven't looked at the clock. What time is it? I feel like we're having such a great time. It might be 9 o'clock. All right, so I'm gonna check the acorn squash, which we need to pull now, right? Here's my chili. Oh my God, this chili, you guys. Does everybody's chili look more or less like my chili? Hey, if there's any vegetables you didn't add or I didn't tell you to add, you're gonna add it now. Hold on, I gotta get another towel, hold on.
He's gone.
I'm not gone, I'm right here.
Oh, well, we have spaghetti squash from the garden, but it's not really browning. See?
In the oven? Did you peel it or is it a?
No, it's just very watery, I think.
Yeah, spaghetti squash tends to be not quite the same. That's okay. We can shred that into. So here's what mine looks like. And obviously you can keep cooking it down for another hour or two if you want, but temperature wise, everything is cooked. You can eat it. So try it. You can keep cooking it, whatever, if you don't want. I've got the chili. I've got this awesome little sour cream sauce in a NutriBullet. We made cocktails the other day using my shaker thing because I didn't have a proper cocktail shaker thing. You would think after all these years I would have a cocktail thing. I don't. All right, I'm gonna get the butternut or the acorn squash out of the oven. I'll show you why this is awesome. Okay, don't anybody go anywhere. Okay, acorn squash. And the reason we wanted this, like if you're in Colorado, I mean, most anywhere in the country, you can get all these wonderful pumpkins and squashes and stuff. And acorn squash specifically comes out amazingly where you leave the skin, you let it burn a little bit, get this awesome like texture to it and crunchiness. Spaghetti squash doesn't do that, right? It kind of turns into, spaghetti squash definitely turns into spaghetti. Yeah. Good job, Shelly, getting the spaghetti squash. But if you have acorn, it gets nice and crunchy and crispy, and it's at least your squash over there. It's lovely. Well done.
Thank you.
All right. At least I grew up in Lakewood. I went to Alameda High School, which was you know,
nice.
yeah. Well, I don't know if it was nice, but thank you. I'll take it. I'll take it.
It is. It is. My son goes to Green Mountain High School.
Oh, those are the guys that kicked our butts every year at track and field. Every year. They were so good at everything. We were not. Okay, so we've got acorn squash and crispy skin is on there. And after you have it this time, you know, next time you'll be like, oh, I want it to be more crispy, I want it to be more crunchy, whatever. But I just wanted to get the idea across. This is one of my favorite things because it's like, it's really deliciously salty and peppery and crunchy. And anyway, so skin on, mostly cooked. Depending on your oven and depending on what you like, you can leave it in there a little bit longer, but go ahead and chop it up a little smaller. And we're gonna sprinkle this over our lovely chili. Did I get bowls to eat out of? I should probably do that. Reed, when's the next one we're doing? We're doing, if you guys need something to do, first week of October, we're up at Steamboat Food and Wine Fest doing a grand tasting. That's the one where you have to actually wear a shirt and pants and show up fully dressed. We'll be there doing events. And then we're doing another one of these things on mid-October. We're back doing this. But at the same time, we're doing a ton of we'll bring this to your house and cook for you and your friends. We're doing a lot of that. I was in Dallas 2 days ago doing for people there, but anywhere you want, we'll come and do it. Well, sorry, what was that last part?
Great event last night.
Oh yeah, great. We did an amazing event last night. 30th birthday party, who knew? in Denver, and this is a cool thing, like right now with all the COVID things happen, nobody wants big groups, but we did a small, intimate dinner party for 10 people last night. It was lovely. And Reed said it was 10 people with tattoos, which is amazing. So they love the food. Whether you have tattoos or not, we can make food that you will like, is the point of that story. Okay, chili's done, chopped up acorn, squash. If you have any apricots left, is it apricot or apricot? All right, if you have any apricot left, go ahead and chop it up. We're gonna sprinkle that on at the end too. Now it's all about the garnish. Did Chris leave us? All right, we get, he's already eating. He's like, screw this. You guys are slow. Chris is out of here. Whatever,
Yeah.
man. All right, all the diced, take anything you got left over. We got some apricots, we got some acorn squash, got some sour cream, and I'm gonna chop up a little bit of cilantro. As, you know, okay, that's everything. So we got a couple more of these things coming. We've got Steamboat Food and Wine coming. Somebody needs to open the door. Okay, I'm gonna find a bowl. Give me a sec. That bowl's too big. We'll go with this one. All right, you guys, obviously, if you need more time, you know, take your time. Don't let me rush you. But the idea here was wonderful Colorado bison, elk, veggie stuff, wherever that comes from, not Colorado. Bunch of Colorado produce. Some of it came out of your garden, maybe. Some of it came out of your neighbor's garden. Maybe you didn't tell them, whatever. Farmers markets. We used apricots. We've got some acorn squash. Made this awesome sour cream stuff. I actually just want the sour cream stuff. All right, it's boiling away.
Dude, I just got our dog in the oven.
All right, sir. All right, oh man, I already made a mess. I'm gonna start plating this. Heather, you good? Bueno. All right, my chili's looking lovely. I assure you, you will thank me for the, oh, and I brought, do you guys remember, these are the little square Cheez-Its? How awesome are these? I got these to sprinkle on top. If you don't, it literally says on the box, 100% cheese, but it doesn't say what percentage of the overall cracker is the 100% cheese. So that's a lot of math. That's a math joke. You can figure that one out later. Chili's in there. I want to see all the other stuff, so I'm going to sprinkle I'm going to drizzle a little bit of the sour cream stuff first. This is fancy plating techniques. It's like not quite Michelin star. I've got the acorn squash on top. I've got some, what is this? Apricots? Apricots. Apricots. And cilantro. Oh my God, look at that, you guys. And like with every dang dish I make, if you have a lemon, squeeze half of it on there now, because the lemon will brighten your day, will freshen everybody up, and make it that much more amazing. Okay. And I'm gonna hit it with a tiny little bit of salt because I really didn't salt as much as I normally do. You guys seen that dude, the Middle Eastern dude, that steak guy that dumps the salt on his elbow? All right, we're not gonna do that. Okay. That was the point of that story. Okay. Lindsay, does your chili look like this?
Doesn't look that good, but it looks okay. Wait, how do I show you?
Oh my God, you actually have chili.
Yeah.
This whole time I thought you were not making chili.
No, I was. I just didn't make squash.
Ah, that's fantastic. Elise, how's your chili looking over there? Oh my God, look at that chili. Erica, wake up. We got to make chili. It's time for chili, Erica. All right. Sheba, hopefully you got something. Chris, hopefully you got something awesome. Oh, I forgot to put crackers. You guys, Cheez-Its. It's the future. Huh? Cheez-Its are the future, you guys.
I'm not actually asleep. This is Erica. I am
Hi,
actually
Erica.
writing down what you're saying.
You're writing it down? Oh my God.
Yeah, 'cause it's late here. So
Oh, I'm sorry. Where are you? Are you in New York?
I'm in Maryland.
Oh, you're in Maryland. That's right. Okay. So I got Sheba and Erica in Maryland.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you both for joining. It's just a chili. The only thing we did different was add a little brown sugar, add a little soy sauce. Heather, what is all that white stuff? Is that mostly sour cream? Love it. I can live off sour cream, you guys. It's the best.
I love cream, but it doesn't do good with my stomach.
Well, you know, most of the things I cook and eat, I probably shouldn't cook or eat. Elise, is it crazy good? Is it okay?
Good with the red
Good.
stripe.
Thank you. Oh yeah, with the red stripe. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for joining again. Please support whatever causes are in your own town that are fighting fire. There are fires everywhere. Or go to our website, mixnmatch.com/chili, the same link you did today. We have a bunch of links up. Just go directly to the local firefighting causes and please support them. Do what you can. I really appreciate you joining us. I'm sorry, what? Oh, follow us on social. That's a thing now with the kids. Are we on the TikToks? No? I don't actually know what that is. I see this dumb video show up and it scares me. So I turn off the phone and I walk away. But yeah, follow us on social. Mixn-Match at mixnmatch.com, at Mixn-Match.
Thank you so much. It was a great class. And please stay safe.
Thank you, Erica. Thanks for staying up for us.
Bye.
Thank you, Sheba. Heather, that looks beautiful. Is it crispy?
Yes, I'm gonna chop them up to put it on top now.
So awesome. Thank you.
Thank
Crispy.
you.
Your chili.
Thank you. Come over. You can have some of my chili. Elise, thank you. Chrissy, thank you. I'm going to say hi to thank you. I'm going to thank everybody individually. I only got 700 people to go, all right? Chris, thank you. All the folks on Instagram and Bob, thanks, buddy. Bye, Lindsay. Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
You'll get some of this in like an hour or so, you know.
Yeah, I want some of that squash.
Oh, yeah, we got lots.
Bye.
Oh, yeah, share your pictures with us. Share anything at all you did with us. Chris, thanks, bud. Thanks for joining.
All right, bye. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you. Chrissy, thank you.